push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. We are joined by Scotty Minter in the studio. We'll get to Scotty's thoughts and ambitions in just a few moments. But first, as we always do, it is time for On This Day in Sports History, February 23rd. Scotty, we don't have to go back very far to find something that is extremely relevant to not only today, but moving forward. On this day last year, Tiger Woods crashes his car driving south of Los Angeles, injuring both legs, an injury that he is still kind of trying to recover from. And there's a lot of people that aren't sure if he'll ever make it back into the professional ranks of golf. We've seen him do, a couple different things, one with his son, with Charlie. But will he ever make it back? So that's the question I posed to you. That and what's the impact of Tiger Woods' legacy, if that is it?
I think I guess I can go with the latter first. Like, as far as the impact of his legacy goes, I mean, he's still, I think to me, he's the greatest golfer like I've ever seen.
Sure.
But it's still like you're gonna play the what if game, because if he didn't sustain those injuries, and even going back farther than that, with the whole, scandal that happened around 2009 or 10, you have to wonder how much that changed things for Tiger. So I think he's still a legend, obviously a tremendous talent. And I remember when he first, when he was 21 or 18 in 96, and I was 7 or 8, and he was just unbelievable. But it's you also, in my opinion, you think of what could have been with him.
Sure, absolutely. And so let's do this right off the jump, because today we're going to talk about All-Star games, the impact of All-Star games. Are they necessary anymore? I mean, at the professional level, of course. What is the best All-Star game? Because I got to be honest with you, I watched some of that NBA All-Star game the other night. I was not impressed. The NBA, which I usually love, the Saturday night thing, not impressed.
The dunk was terrible this year.
Awful. And it's frustrating because even from a standpoint of just an entertainment thing. I mean, it took the first guy in the dunk contest 10 minutes to tie up his boots for Tim's. He's going to dunk in Tim's. Congratulations. But why is it taking you 10 minutes to do? Why couldn't you do that before the game? Just to put on a show. And why does it take you so long? I'm always enamored by what these athletes can do. Why the hell does it take them 10 minutes to tie up a pair of Tim's? It takes me 3 seconds. The bunny move, right?
Yeah,
loop, swoop, and pull.
Yeah.
Loop, swoop, and pull, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, but from your standpoint, Scotty, let's answer the question. What is the biggest impact? Let's start with this, because we talked about Tiger Woods. Who is the biggest impact player in any sport of any generation?
Biggest impact you're talking about in my lifetime, or
anybody in sports? It can be in your lifetime, It can be, before you.
I'll preface this with
It's going to be LeBron James. It's coming.
Hold on a minute here. you know how I feel. I'll preface this with that, and I love a certain guy from Akron, but
oh baby,
there's nobody in my lifetime has been more impactful. Like, Jordan is a huge reason I love sports, and like the fact that his shoes and everything are still, like, he's still relevant as far as that goes, and he's not on like social media every second. And I think he's aged really well as a super.
Does Jordan have a social media?
I don't think he even has social media. So I don't know. And again, I love LeBron, and to me, he's right up there. Like, if he's not the greatest, he's the second greatest of all time. It's hard to argue against MJ, but I mean, he was just so super impactful. I mean, I still remember the Be Like Mike commercial.
Oh yeah. Gatorade.
I had this movie, Michael Jordan's Playground, and it went through like even his high school days after he got like cut and everything after that. But
Space Jam.
He was just a guy that, I don't know, man. Like, he's so polarizing. Still to this day, the Jordan documentary, the Last Dance, that's still to this day one of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there's a couple that come close, and I think we're living in a documentary style world now. Like, people love and engage in these documentaries, but the timing behind The Last Dance was perfect because it was set in, we didn't have anything to watch. Like, so we waited on bated breath with, when's The Last Dance coming on? And I remember, and I'll watch it again and again and again and again and again. Because I'm with you. I think that was one of the best docs of all time. All right. So I'm with you on Michael Jordan, right? I think he planted the seeds for being the greatest impact player of all time, because what he did with commercials, what he did with shoes, what he did with just the culture of the game of basketball and sports in general changed the entire climate for years to come. And for us to this day, I mean, look, is this juice still around if Michael Jordan isn't promoting it in the NBA? I don't know. Because he was the first, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the first big role model or campaign guy for Gatorade and for Nike, if you think about with the shoes. So, but from that, I'm going to go Tiger Woods. And here's why. Because Tiger Woods changed an entire sport that was dominated by one particular era or one particular set of people, right? It was white, wealthy people that were taking advantage of golf growing up for me. And all of a sudden, Tiger Woods comes in, and every kid, including myself, who never had any ambition of picking up a set of clubs, wanted to golf because I wanted to be Tiger Woods. I wanted to be not that I didn't want to be Michael Jordan, but I was going to play basketball regardless. I was going to play baseball regardless. I never wanted to play golf until Tiger Woods.
He made you want to play golf.
He made golf cool, because usually it's this, right? This is what you think of when you think of golf. You think of people in fancy clothes doing this, golf clap. When Tiger lit an entire audience, everybody on the 18th green on fire, that's when I was like, man, this is unbelievable. I want people cheering for me. Because listen, golf is probably Are we going to – I don't know if somebody's going to challenge me. I think golf's the most challenging sport there is. I really do.
It's got to be up there.
I really do.
It's got to be in the top 3, I would think, most challenging.
Hockey to me is the most challenging sport to play physically, right? Golf, from a mental standpoint, from a doing it every day and actually completing the task, to me is one of the most challenging sports there is.
Well, and then plus on top of that, and it takes nothing away from, the elite players in hockey, DJ. I told you myself a while back on here, like you can say what you want about hockey on TV, but going to an NHL game live,
it's cool.
It's really so cool. But you think about hockey, you have other guys, teammates that can pick you up. That's another reason why I think I have admiration for guys like Tiger and some of the greatest golfers, because I've always thought the individual sports where you don't have teammates and it's just you, it makes it that much tougher, man.
Well, I mean, think about from a standpoint of Michael Jordan, you already had all races really playing basketball because people love basketball. To just go out in your driveway and shoot the basketball is something that was done while Jordan was growing up, right? To go out and swing clubs, to put clubs in the hands of every single kid, no matter what, race, denomination, religion they are.
I'm Tiger Woods.
You're Tiger Woods, man. Tiger Woods, y'all. It's one of those things where I think Tiger did a great job of impacting not only the game and sport of golf, but culturally impacted the world, because he gave everybody the belief of, if I wear a red shirt, black pants, and a black hat with a swoosh on it, I'm Tiger Woods. There's people that wear red on Sundays only because Tiger Woods, still to this day. So that's my cultural, that's my impact guy, the greatest impact player of all time. If you're going to, you play golf, right? You do it. But I'm not far from Michael Jordan. I'm not far from agreeing with you, Scotty. But I think Tiger, if you look at the whole thing, but then again, does Tiger exist if it wasn't for Jordan's cultural impact prior to him? That we don't know.
Yeah. And I guess, Tiger did make me want to watch golf more.
100%. Glued to the TV, by the way.
Yeah. He definitely did that. I always wanted to just watch. I was always in the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't always in the, golf. So I do give Tiger that. But just as far as growing up, because it was something I watched on a regular basis and I didn't watch golf, I give Jordan the edge just because I saw most of his games.
Sure.
With the Bulls.
So let me ask you this. If basketball is on without Jordan, are you watching?
Today, you mean?
Anytime.
Yeah, I still you mean if he never came on?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're just watching, let's rewind it to Scotty at 12 years old. If Jordan's not on, are you just casually, if you're running down the we used to have the TV guide thing.
Yeah.
If you saw basketball on and the Bulls weren't on or Jordan wasn't in the lineup, are you watching that game? Probably, right?
Yeah, I'd still watch the Cavs.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. If you're running down on a Sunday and Tiger Woods isn't golfing, are you stopping on golf and watching it if it's not the Masters or it's not Tiger Woods?
No.
See? That's what I'm talking about. He makes you tune in. I'll watch basketball without Jordan. We all do it, right? We watch it with LeBron. We watch it with Kobe. We watch it. If Phil Mickelson, God bless him, I love him, he doesn't make me want to stop on golf. Tiger does. Every time Tiger takes a cut you were engaged, because, and we got Tiger Woods out in the main lobby, right? He's our guy. He protects YSN. But there's a lot of people, because of his stuff off the course, that don't like what he does, and they don't follow Tiger Woods. But I will argue that most red-blooded Americans will follow Tiger Woods, especially now, because of the comeback story. Because he gives them the warm and fuzzies. The 7th grade DJ Yoakley, who was drawn right after Tiger wins, I think it was a Masters, right after he wins the Masters, I'm drawing pictures of him, thinking, I want to be Tiger Woods. I want to be Tiger Woods. I just want to make that impact. So that's why I give Tiger Woods the advantage, because you're not stopping unless Tiger Woods is on the golf course. But you're stopping on basketball without Michael Jordan on the floor.
That's, I didn't think of it that way before you brought it up, but you got a point there, man.
Got him. I got him again, Scotty.
You did. You got me. And like, I think also he's one of those guys, like, if it wasn't him, like, he's the type of guy that can, like, rewrite a story. And,
sure.
He just has the charisma, I think, to be able to, like, bounce back. Like, if you brought up Phil Mickelson,
mm-hmm.
And I like Phil Mickelson, but if he was involved in something like Tiger Woods was involved in, and you talked about the people not liking what he's done off the golf course and things like that, if somebody like Mickelson or one of the other all-time greats, go way back and say Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus, if somebody like that got in trouble like that, I think society would be even less forgiving.
Sure.
But I don't know, just something I was thinking about since you brought it up.
Absolutely. All right. So for the next 10 minutes, we're going to talk about last night in the sectional round, opening round of the OHSA tournaments. We're going to go down the scores, Scotty. Keep thinking, though. We're going to talk about All-Star Game in the second half of the show. The best All-Star Game, and do we even need All-Star Games anymore at the professional level? We, as in YSN, have an All-Star Game coming up for basketball. March 26th, you got to be there naturally, because it is going to be a party. Some of the best talent on display in a setting unlike any other for the All-Star Game. You're going to want to check it out. Again, March 26th is going to be at South Range High School, $5 admission. With a very special announcement coming up at the end of the week about where you'll be, that admission price is going to be going to and going towards on that Saturday night. All right, let's get right off the top. Speaking of South Range, the Raiders advanced their season with a 59-52 win over Pie Valley. The Lakers come up short. Raiders, they are peaking at the right time right now. Congratulations to the Burgundy and Gold. The St. Thomas Aquinas Knights, 67. Latonia Bears, 23. Bears season comes to an end. It was a tough season for Latonia this year. Obviously, a new coach, which I think the world of Guy. I really do. I think he's done a phenomenal job over in Latonia. I think that the cavalry is on the way. So is it cavalry or Calvary? Calvary. What do you think? I think it's cavalry.
Yeah, I think it's cavalry.
That's one of those words here in Northeast Ohio that gets all butchered up.
Yeah.
All right. So the cavalry is on its way for Latonia, I think. I think the 7th and 8th graders are going to be really, really good and help Guy get the accomplishment that he wants. Salem Quakers, my team, my squad, their season comes to an end in overtime last night. Streetsboro getting the win 68-64, outlasting the Quakers. A nice year for the Quakers, especially lately. That brings the close of the season of the Emperor of Elevation, Drew Weir. He's been come to be known and loved here at YSN. Beaver Local, their season comes to an end as well as they lose to West Holmes 79-67. That's a home loss, which is tough to swallow. We'll get to a couple more of those home losses that we saw last night. So the Beaver season comes to a close with an 8-point loss to West Holmes. Sebring loses 71-29. Their season comes to a close. Southern Local comes up short against Valley Christian. Congratulations to the Eagles. 42-36 winners last night against their EOAC foe. McDonald comes up short against Wellsville. 58-44. Tough season for McDonald. Obviously not one that they're used to or accustomed to in the Franciscelli era, but that's a very good team down in Wellsville that doesn't get near enough credit. And I know Coach Jimmy tipped his cap to Wellsville on social media this morning. Lakeview comes up short against Poland in a very close game, 61-48. Poland Bulldogs just keep on rolling. They are basketball built and ready. We had an interview with Christian Colosimo yesterday that he said that they're ready. They're going out with a bang. So Poland well on their way as they get through the first round over their NE8 foe, the Lakeview Bulldogs. Taken up to Canfield with a big win, 70-55 over the Ravenna Ravens. So Canfield continues their season. Coach Muck and the boys keeping on rolling. Then you look at Springfield. You want to talk about rolling. 55-18 over Crestwood. The Tigers now have a date on Friday with the East Palestine Bulldogs to become sectional champions. And Bo and Adam and Alex, you talk about some of these seniors, just some of them that are just absolutely on fire right now. And they have a mission, and that is to hopefully get to states and replicate what they've been able to do with basketball or with football over the last few years. Game that I was at, Scotty, Rootstown winners over Columbiana, 51-42. The Clippers just couldn't get anything going last night. They were having a tough time. At one point in the first half, they were down by a dozen. They were able to get back in the game. I believe they brought it. They actually tied it, I believe, come to think of it. But they just could not hold the Rovers down at the end of the game, letting shooters loose, and the sharpshooters for the Rovers made the Clippers pay, ultimately putting a nail in the coffin on the season. Congratulations again to Todd Johnson and the team over there. I think the final tally was 11-12 on the year. So not the season that the Clippers wanted, but not one that is going to be disappointing in any fashion. Nick Million, congratulations on all the records broken over there. You'll see him in the YSN All-Star game, as well as Coach Johnson, who will be on the bench, supporting the kids. So East Liverpool Potters with a absolute dandy last night. Buzzer beater, 56-55 over Carrollton. Closer than I think the Potters wanted it naturally. But that's one thing that Coach Conley talks about is being able to win close games makes you a better team. And especially in the tournament with everything on the line, Potters come away with a victory, 56-55 last night on the network. Cardinal Mooney, 66-22 winners over Mineral Ridge. Congratulations to them as they move on to the next game on Friday. Ursuline in a all YSN matchup again, 73-52. Hubbard hung in there for a while, but as I understand, excuse me, as I understand, the Irish just too much, and it shows up on the scoreboard. 73. I'm there. Peace. I get all worked up, and the cough comes back. 73-52 winners, the Ursuline Irish. My apologies at home for the cough. 79-59, Western Reserve over Maplewood. The Blue Devils move on, and it was the end of the season for United last night. Tough end of their season. They had a tough schedule towards the end. 58-49. Coach Thompson, nothing to hang their head about in United as their season comes to a close. Struthers, 65-58 winners over NDCL. Everybody talks about NDCL as if they are always there. They're always there in the conversation. They're just enough agitators to give Struthers problems and fits. But another matchup, I believe, in the field house for the Wildcats on Friday. So we'll confirm that. Canton South with a win over Girard finishes the Indian season 45-33. Then you look to what a game between Brookfield and Wyndham. last night, 82-73. Brookfield comes out on top. That is a very good Brookfield team, and I believe sets up a date with Heartland Christian on Friday, a matchup of a game we saw just a week ago, and a game that Brookfield came out on top, but there was no Johnny Buckets, and we'll see if Johnny Buckets is able to play coming up on Friday. 67-30, West Branch, big winners over Niles, moves them into the next round, and that's a complete wrap-up. I know Heartland Christian won as well. That was their first ever win in the OHSA tournament for Heartland Christian last night. So congratulations to Josh Scott and his entire staff and all the boys and the entire Heartland Christian program, because that's always a big step. When you get your first victory ever in school history in the tournament, that's a huge step towards success. And we'll see how it goes as they play Brookfield on Friday. I'll be interested, and I think we'll all be watching for $9.99. You can watch all the games. So we're going to take a break, Scotty. When we come back, we're going to talk about those all-star teams. Who stays? Who goes? Are they even relevant anymore? All that and more coming up on the YSN Power Hour.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times. But because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense, to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
Storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. YSN Power Hour for this Wednesday, the 23rd of February. Scotty, as February creeps towards a close, we saw All-Star Game.
I have such a bad habit of talking before somebody's finished. I got to stop that. But I was just going to say February it's always like, yeah, it's over already. Like
28 days. You think it
goes by so
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's my favorite month because it's my birthday month. So naturally, I don't mind February at all. But it does go by so quickly with 28 days, and every 4 years you get a 29th day or so. But with February coming to a close, we just saw the All-Star game for basketball. Baseball should be in full swing here. I know the pitchers and catchers are a little bit delayed because of the situation in Major League Baseball with the contracts. The All-Star game is always an interesting thing because you have the Pro Bowl and the NBA All-Star game in 1 month, in the same month. The Pro Bowl was an absolute you-know-what show, I thought. It's probably the worst All-Star game out of all of them. Are All-Star games still relevant in today's day and age? I mean, I know All-Star selections are, but All-Star games, should we take them seriously? Because to me, I like the exhibition side of it. Does the MLB still have, this is a good question for you, does the MLB still have, if you win it, you get home advantage in the World Series, or they do away with that?
They did away with
okay.
it.
I like that. I like that there was something on the line. I know that they didn't want to tie anymore because of that tie that they had back in the day. But even the MLB All-Star game is tough. And I heard somebody come out, I think it was who was it that came out and said that the MLB All-Star game is the only one that matters because you can't fake a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I think it was Josh Donaldson. I said that. No, you can't fake a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but typically those guys aren't really letting it loose in the MLB All-Star game. They're getting, 1 inning to pitch. You got 37 pitchers on each side. You got 37 shortstops. Everybody gets 1 at bat, 2 at the max. Do the All-Star games matter anymore, Scotty? And are there any of them that are relevant?
That's a great question. And you know what? Honestly, DJ, I think I told you it was right around, I hadn't been here that long, and I had the opportunity to go to the All-Star game, the baseball All-Star game when it was in Cleveland a couple years ago. And it was cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was, okay. It was fine. But I can't see myself ever wanting to spend money. Like, I was hearing, like, just for tickets to this past All-Star game, the NBA, they were going for, like, thousands. It was, like, ridiculous. And I'm like, I never spend, like, go to a couple Cavs games where you're going to spend all that money. Like, why would people spend it? So, I don't know, man. The more I watch, I used to think baseball was, like, the only good one and definitely superior. But now even baseball is, like, it's almost like I'm over it. And I don't really know why. It's like these All-Star games, maybe like you said, if they put something on the line, if they said, okay, this is for home field
or charity or anything.
Yeah, anything on the line, maybe it'd be more, worth the price of admission. But I just, like, if they did away with them, like, I definitely wouldn't lose sleep over it.
So what about the spectacles? So the events the night before. So like for baseball, it's the home run derby. For basketball, it's the celebrity Saturday night or whatever they're calling it nowadays. Football, they have the skills challenge, and I think NBA is actually called the skills challenge as well. Now that I think about it, hockey, they have the skills challenge. Which should you just call it a day at the skills challenge?
I thought about this. I wanted to get your thoughts on it, DJ, too, because I was thinking as far as the NBA goes, and we both agreed that this past, the slam dunk contest was horrible. But I was thinking, like, either you have a bunch of stars and you get a bunch of them, and it's all the all-star players, above average players, decent players. It's all stars, or you get regular. I think it'd be really cool getting, like, regular Joes off the street.
Oh, it'd be terrible
because you can't tell me. I mean, it would be. It can be worse than what we saw a couple of nights ago. So
I think there'd be some general interest. Like if you're rooting for some dude from Cleveland that delivers, sandwiches, but he can win $50,000 for himself and $50,000 for a charity by winning a 3-point contest. I think you can get behind that.
Yeah, and I just like the idea, like here at YSN, we're about promoting, the guys and people that might not get the look and they don't get the spotlight.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the pro ranks in all the sports maybe have to explore that a little bit more.
I'd be interested. Well, they used to have a show called Pros vs. Joes, which I was in. in love with. I love the idea of, this is what a pro looks like doing it. This is what a Joe looks like doing it. And the Joes always made it look absolutely but even then they had people that were competitive to Joes. Like, this guy played Division I quarterback, and no. I want myself, a guy like me, 5'4.5", against Steph Curry shooting a basketball, 3-point, and playing Cal. I don't stand a chance. Like, not a chance. But once in a million chance or opportunities, somebody's going to win one time, right? And it's going to be great. But we're almost in and I talk about this all the time. We're in a world where we watch NBA basketball and we assume 90% of the time that ball is going in. That's why I love high school basketball so much, because there is so much of it's 50-50 every time they take a shot. There's some shooters that are much better, obviously, but they're not as skilled and drilled as these basketball players. Baseball is the same way. You're going to see a lot more strikeouts. You're not going to see as many home runs. More errors. I mean, the human nature of sports is why it's so fun. Nobody likes to see robots out there. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to hit that walk-off, and it's an absolute surprise, and you're not expecting it, is what makes it so great. That goal in hockey, to me, it's a unbelievable that anybody can even play hockey, because you're basically on you're on blades and you're dancing on ice and you're trying to play soccer at the same time, and the fact that they can put that biscuit in the basket constantly and consistently. Again, the biggest challenge I think in sports is that, outside of golf, and to watch hockey in live and really appreciate it is way different than watching on television. So I think the hockey All-Star game is one that I would want to see stay, because no matter, like, you can't fake hockey. That's one thing you can't fake. Like, if you take your head off a swivel, you're going to get popped. Yeah. And, you can't fake skating around the ice and doing that ice dance that they do on a daily basis. So I'm interested. I mean, I don't know. I think the skills challenge would be cool. To see a home run derby with a bunch of average Joes would be sweet, but I don't think we'd have any home runs. Maybe 3 or 4. I think that's the biggest spectacle.
But that's my point, though. Like, would it really be worse than what we've seen?
A home run derby would be. The 3-point challenge, I would be all in favor of the Joes, because I think it's easier. Call me crazy. I think it's easier to hit a 3-pointer than it is the home run.
Yeah, or it'd be easier to hit a 3-pointer than slam a dunk down.
Listen, there's a bucket list to have a slam dunk for me. I've come to the conclusion it's not going to happen. Unless I have a rocket pack, I'm not slamming anything. But I have hit a home run. So does that mean that a home run is easier to do than a slam dunk? I think it's just circumstances.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's harder to hit a home run than it is to do a lot of things. Like, my buddy growing up never had a home run. Never hit a home run in his entire life. It was a men's slow pitch softball game where he finally had his first home run, and he was, I want to say, 30 years old. And he was like, you can end it right now. Like, I'm done. Like, bucket list, it's all over. Like, he would try to go out and hit, like, on his own, hit home runs, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't toss it up, hitting it out of the park, couldn't do it. And I'll never forget, it was a short fence. He hit a home run. Even in a men's slow pitch softball game, he celebrated. And that's the only home run he's ever had that was out of the park. And that was the thing.
A shining moment.
That was it. Yeah. So what's harder to do? What do you think is the hardest task to do in sports?
The hardest thing to do in sports.
Hole in one has got to be up there.
Yeah. I think even it's not the hardest, but I think playing quarterback in the NFL, I think it's up there.
But what's the task? Throwing a touchdown?
I would say throwing a touchdown, yeah.
So throwing a touchdown is harder to do than hitting a home run or a hole in one.
No, it wouldn't be harder, but I think it would be at least in the conversation. To me, it probably would be the hole in one in golf would be the hardest.
What about scoring a goal in hockey?
Yeah, that wouldn't be. You have to, like, I don't understand how, like, swiftly they move on the ice. And, like, so that would be just the pace of that game. Because golf, you kind of go at your own pace. You have time, and you go as you please. But hockey, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. But
what about water polo?
Water polo.
I can't swim very well, so that's probably high on my list of tasks that I'd never be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, I swim. I can keep myself up for a little while, like without like floaties, because I would always have like the floaties on. But then after a while, my body just gets like tired. So swimming isn't. It's pretty difficult.
All right,
too.
I'm gonna throw one. Here's a curveball for you. Figure skating.
Figure skating. Wow.
Figure skating versus hitting a home run versus the hole in one. Which one is more challenging? Which task is more challenging?
Man,
I'm going to go figure skating.
Yeah, I probably agree with you there.
Think about doing all those moves on ice.
What do they call it? The double axel?
Yeah, the triple sow cow.
Yeah.
There's no chance. Like, I can't do that. And we just take it for granted. My wife said this morning, I'm going to throw her under the bus. The Winter Olympics is basically a bunch of rich kids, that are doing these sports, because you and I aren't out there on bobsleds. You know what I mean? Like you have to get out there pretty early to get ice time for hockey, for figure skating, for things of that nature, even curling, which curling, I don't know. Everybody thinks they can do curling. I still think it's a more challenging sport than we see on television, but I'm not ready to put it in the ice skating category, the figure skating category.
Yeah.
What else is out there? We want to hear from you. What is the most challenging task in sports? I'm going figure skating.
Figure skating.
Hole in one. I've got a better chance at a hole in one right now than I'll ever have at landing a triple sow cow, whatever they call it, double axle. There's no chance. Like, there is no chance. Even if I work my entire rest of my life to do that, Scotty, I got no shot.
Yeah, it's hard because, like, all of these take, some level of, like, I never hit a home run, but I would hit, like, some decent line drives.
Sure.
Sometimes hit it pretty far when, like, someone would pitch to me in the backyard, but yeah, I just think figure skating that's one I didn't even think about till you brought it up, but that's just a different beast, man.
Bobsledding, I think it'd be easy. Not winning and doing it well, but just doing the task
being
of
able to do it.
You're on a sled. You're just going downhill.
Yeah.
Skiing would be. I don't want to say skiing is going to be easy because it's not, but the task of skiing is easy. Slaloms, I couldn't do. My knees would give out that first bump, going back and forth. That pains me to watch. My knees hurt every time I see that.
What else is really, in my opinion, is really hard to me, at least to hit the ball straight, like do a serve that's actually straight and look good, is tennis.
Ooh, now we're getting into
really
something
challenging too.
Okay. So are you putting tennis in your top 3? A serve? Just a serve in tennis.
I probably would put it in the top 3.
So what's your top 3 consist of now? Figure skating?
Figure skating.
A serve in tennis?
I go tennis, and then I go the hole-in-one.
Oh, wow. So home run is gone. Home run is now 4 or below for Scotty.
Yeah, I feel like even today, if you took me to a park, DJ, like, I'm not saying it would happen.
Here we go.
But I
it's
think
the Bethesda rule.
I'd have a chance.
Here we go.
Knock it over.
No chance. 0 chance. 0 chance. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure you have a chance.
I'd say like maybe 5%.
I'd be afraid of hitting you. Like at this point in my life, like I've got no control on the fastball, and I might plunk you.
I'll just have to.
You gonna charge?
Dress it. Yeah. Oh, you know I'm coming after you, man. I'm not backing down.
Are you bringing the bat with you?
Yeah.
I love it. You're swinging the bat around. Have you watched the Olympics at all?
I have a little bit. I never watch it religiously, but I have checked it out a little bit. To me, I don't know, maybe it's because I don't get to see it as often, but curling is, like, to me, I don't think it's necessarily easy. Like you said, you don't think it's easy either. But that's something like I'm always interested when it's on.
Why don't we have a professional curling league, and why don't we have a professional shuffleboard league that we're able to watch at whatever time we want on ESPN? Like all these sports, I'm excited, but those 2 sports alone, like cornhole, same thing. Like I can sit. People laugh because I'll turn cornhole on, and I'm enamored by it because I'll go out and I have no shot at sinking. Those guys could sink any bag, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, man. It seems like that's getting a little more coverage. And when you talked about like sports that don't get as much coverage, it made me think of like on Sundays when I turn on ESPN, they'd have bowling on.
Yep.
Not necessarily bowling itself, but throwing the 300, the perfect game. Like, what type of bowler are you? You think you can?
I'm a bumper lanes bowler. Is what I am. Like I can't stand getting gutter balls. So I'm not afraid. I'm 37 years old. Put those bumpers up. If I'm paying for the lane, I'm paying for the lane.
Yeah, because I use they have these ramps. You roll the ball down for people that are in wheelchairs.
Sure.
I've used the ramps, and I think I got maybe like a 200 or a little over 200.
That a boy?
The one day. But yeah, I always thought like, man, even if I did it, like I'd still be able to brag a little bit, even if it was with the help of a ramp. Like if I ever rolled a 300 game, like it'd still be impressive.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, especially you get Scott, you get a 300. We're celebrating that. Like we're going out on the town if you get a 300. But we're just looking for excuses to get out on the town anyway.
Yeah.
All right, you know what time it is?
It's time for our Sparks.
That's right. Let's hit it. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark presented by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric in North Lima. You can also get to them at DickeyElectric.com. Joe Dickey Electric, proudly powering the Valley for over 60 years. Scotty, you have the floor.
Okay, my spark, and I got one positive and one negative. The positive one is I'm very excited. I know we still got a little ways, but you were talking to me about the YSN All-Star game last week, and I'm very excited, chomping at the bit. This will be my first All-Star game that I'll be a part of on the 26th. So just really excited for that and just that entire day. So I want to say, again, thank you in advance, DJ, on when it comes to the All-Star game coming up on Saturday the 26th. And as far as my negative spark goes, it's just like, man, and I hate to be like a get off my lawn guy, like Clint Eastwood, like the old man, like barking at, a guy that's just old and bitter. But it's like, man, at some point, we got to come to an agreement here. And I'm talking about the baseball, the players and the owners. Like, I fear that if this strike isn't resolved, like you said, DJ, I think baseball, it could end baseball. I think it's that dire. And I just love the game of baseball. I know, like so many people now, they don't have the attention span. They think it moves too slow. But something about being at a baseball game, still, to me, it's a little slice of heaven. So I just really want them to get this resolved. I want to go to a couple games with you this year.
Yes,
go to a Pirates game, go to a Guardians game. So that's my negative spark, is just get this damn thing resolved already. It's multi-billionaires fighting with millionaires. It's just not a good look.
Never when you're playing a kid's game is it a good look to get, to bicker about money. By the way, you used Guardians. Very good.
I did.
Very good. My spark is going to be along the same lines of the get off my lawn spark. We're trying to do stuff here and everywhere. People are trying to do things for kids. That we do the Bear Brothers Big Dogs of the Valley. It's a vote. It's a showcase. It's an honor, I think, for these kids to be up and have some extra exposure. Parents, administrators are ruining this for the kids. They're ruining it because they're vote tracking, and they're sitting there and they're saying, well, you can't have this many votes over. Listen, we're not going to get into the nitty gritty. Russia is not hacking YSN to make sure your kid doesn't win the YSN Bear Brothers Big Dog. I promise you, we're not being hacked. We live in such a culture now of, if I don't get it, then nobody can get it. Let's back it down a little bit, right? Let's back it down. Let's understand that sometimes things are just to help kids out. Sometimes it's that extra little thumbs up that, hey, my kid's up for something. Can you go vote 10 times? Not can you send a bot out or all these unbelievable conspiracy theories that just because your kid doesn't win does not mean that it wasn't won in a absolute legitimate way. Let's just back it down and take a breath. In a world full of people bitching about participation trophies, here we are trying to get a participation trophy. Relax. It's a vote. It's for the kids. It's for fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. That's my spark. And again, brought to you by Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them in North Lima or DickeyElectric.com. Thanks to Joe Dickey Electric. Eric Carlson over there, always a great friend and making sure we're taken care of over here. Scotty, great show for you today, my friend. Appreciate you stopping by. As always, right here on the Power Hour. And we'll see you, next Wednesday?
Yes, next Wednesday. And I should be good to go for a while as far as Wednesdays go, because our next show's on a Thursday. So.
Nice. All right. Well, that's going to do it, Scotty. Say bye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching, and continue to support us here at YSN.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation.